What up? It's your boy Scuba Steve.
And I'm the Sodaholic.
Yes.
And I'm your boy La Chancla.
So welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. Whoa!
Whoa!
Yay! This recording is gonna be this recording we're doing is recording at the day of the Microsoft Xbox conference. The day of, and we're gonna release it a week later.
Yeah.
Because we're like that.
We're showing fashionably late
That's just
to the
how
game
the schedule works.
Yeah, that and, anyways. So today we're going to discuss what kind of our feelings of the Xbox conference that showcased early this morning, and at least for us, and kind of just like our favorites and not our favorites, what we hoped for and what we got and our satisfaction, all that kind of stuff. But we'll begin with because the showcase started with the pre-show, and apparently these two fools didn't watch the pre-show.
I saw Ninja's face and I was like, nope, bail.
There's I forget the guy's name, but the host for the Game Awards. You guys watch the Game Awards?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, you know his name?
No. I know exactly who you're talking about. I just don't know his name.
Yeah. Well, he was hosting the pre-show and the post-show. I forget his name. But yeah, it was. He was just introducing. He was just talking about what the conference is going to be about. He also he did a couple panels with like some streamers and some YouTubers and stuff and famous people like Jacksepticeye, Aaron from Game Grumps to like freaking JD Witherspoon and amongst other people. I can't forget. I forget other people's names, but it was pretty cool. I mean, it's just interesting to see. I mean, afterwards when I was thinking, I was like, man, it's kind of wild. I wouldn't expect these people to be in a panel for Xbox, because like Aaron, because everyone, the guy was talking about every single like 2 minutes was like, yeah, and then we'll at the top of the hour, Halo Infinite gameplay, and it was just, it was just reinforcing that the reason why we're here is because of Halo Infinite, right? And so there was 3 panels total, besides like the extra ones like with the Ninja, right? And I forget if there's other more, but there was always a discussion about Halo Infinite and kind of like their ideas of what they wanted to, or what they were expecting and stuff. And some people loved Halo, some people were like didn't really care, and some people were in the middle. Like Matt Pat was like kind of mild about Halo, but it was interesting because a lot of them was that talked about Halo Infinite. It was like, I hope the story's good, right? I hope the gameplay's great and the graphics are good, but for the most part the game, like the story, and like it has to be classic Halo. I was like, that's cool. I mean, that's right. And then Aaron from Game Grumps was talking about, well, I didn't like the campaign, but I played a lot of the multiplayer. And I was like, that's a perspective I like. Well, not because I like multiplayer also, but it's just interesting to see that someone doesn't care about the campaign, but enjoyed the multiplayer a lot. So it's cool to see that there was a balance between people that wants to see more gameplay of campaign and people want to see more gameplay of multiplayer. Because because that's what people are expecting from this game is like a quality campaign and quality multiplayer, because that's what the game provided, will continue to try to provide, right? I mean, like Halo 1 and Halo 2 and Halo Reach like began a narrative, and Halo 4 began narratives of the story between like Master Chief and the whole lore and stuff, and then Halo Reach, Halo 3, and then Halo 4 and Beyond focused more on multiplayer and stuff, and kind of just expanded on community. And it was, I mean, every single Halo was always trying to up the scale in multiplayer. So yeah, that's kind of what they were talking about mostly. And then during the pre-show, and then there was like world premieres and showcasing of other smaller other games. I can remember there was a showcase for Dragon Quest. That was the very first showcase of Xbox. was this new Dragon Quest game, and I don't really play those games, so I was like, okay. And then they showed, was it Hello Neighbor 2? I think that's what I forget, but I've seen a little bit of gameplay. I haven't really played it, but I know it was like super popular when it came out, and a whole bunch of people were playing it. And I'm pretty sure there's gonna happen the same thing's gonna happen when this game drops, because it looks pretty tense, man. It looks kind of fun, and I don't know. I kind of just like the aesthetic of the game, of that, of Hello Neighbor 2 specifically, and just kind of cool the way it's played. But yeah, and then just interviews with the people talking about what they're hoping for besides Halo Infinite, and yeah, and then that's what I could remember because it was just a whole hour of that in the morning. But yeah, that's what happened in the pre-show, and then on the dot, right, and then the main show happened, right, and that's when they showcased Halo Infinite. The first, I thought, see, the thing is, for me, I thought they were gonna show the game last, because it's like their biggest thing. Is the one thing that everyone's there for, is Halo Infinite, right? And so MatPat predicted, like, hey man, they're gonna showcase Halo Infinite first, right? And everything else is gonna be like icing on the cake. And I was like, man, now it's gonna be the other way around. And it wasn't. It was what he predicted. And then and then that's what you guys saw too, right? The very first what we saw first was a trailer. Was the cinematic trailer. How do you guys feel about that?
Oh, whoa,
just like
like how in depth do you want me to go on this?
We're just gonna talk about like what we saw throughout, and then we'll get specific once we're like, how we feel about. Well, actually, let's just begin with how we felt about the whole thing, about the whole conference.
About the whole conference, okay.
As a general whole, yeah.
Personally, you go ahead.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay.
All right, so I thought that I'm joking, you guys.
So, personally, for me, I'm not gonna lie, I was disappointed. I was disappointed by the show, as a whole. There wasn't anything that I saw that was game changing, because they keep building this Xbox Series X as this granddaddy of a console, and yet I saw nothing that was game changing, but then again, it's all trailers and it's all reveals. But at the same time, I was, there were some games that I was like, oh, that's cool, but then there were other ones, for the most part, I was just let down as a whole. But that's just my take on the show.
My take was kind of, well, I've never watched a console reveal or a showcase before, so this was a little bit new an experience for me. And I'm kind of on the newer side of the Xbox fans. I joined the Xbox community when I was a few years a few years before Xbox One was released. And so I caught the very last games of the Xbox 360 and then going into Xbox One. But one thing I did like and I still continue to like Xbox for over PlayStation is that they're continuing to value the not having to buy games over for switching over consoles. So you can, every game that you buy for Xbox One, you'll be able to play on the new Xbox X series, and with the added benefit of them being able to upgrade to the visuals and the enhanced gameplay that the Xbox X series provides, which I really enjoyed, because I started off as a Nintendo, I played a lot of Nintendo consoles, and then I switched over to Xbox, and that's one thing I really liked about Nintendo, is that you can play games from older consoles, and I like that Xbox started to, I guess, adopt that way of thinking, and something that PlayStation doesn't do at all. But again, like to Soda's point, there wasn't a lot of games that I felt super excited for. There was a few that I really thought that would be really cool to play because I don't really play a lot of different games, but there are some that I saw that were pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, kind of my general thing was like some of them were dope, some of them were kind of like okay, you know, at least the games and what they provided and stuff. I know that like Forza is super famous for like pushing the consoles to, you know, to like showcase like super good graphics, you know, but that's kind of what it is really. I mean, I have Forza, but I don't really play Forza, you know, for like racing purposes or anything. I just play it to like, you know, just actually I don't even play it at all.
Right? Single person who does. I feel like
my
like
brother
only,
plays
like,
Forza a lot actually.
Does he?
Yeah.
Like on the regular?
Not a lot, but like he'll play like every week at least, and he talks about it. But one of the things that I did write down about Forza was that this newest iteration of Forza is pretty much real life at this point. The graphics could not be any more real life than it is in the new Forza game, which was crazy.
Yeah, they're pushing the graphics to its limits for the new console, and I'm like, dang, that's crazy.
Well, I mean, up until the Xbox Series Y.
Yeah, that's true.
My note for that I put down for for Forza is I do not care for Forza. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not huge on racing games. I mean, I used to play a lot as a kid, but I feel like it's kind of a dying genre, low key. But that's just my opinion. And there's still a fan base for racing games, so it's good that they're still making like Forza games. But really, I think it's meant to just like push the boundaries of graphics and the power of the console, right?
Yeah.
But you know, yeah, and then there was the at the end there was Fable, right? They're rebooting Fable, which is kind of cool. I saw my dad play it a lot. I mean, I as much as I am a gamer, I'm also like I really enjoy watching people play games. I mean, so I remember my dad owning Fable 1, and it was kind of cool to watch, and it looked like a fun game. And I think a lot of people were kind of hyped to see Fable, you know. And so I'm kind of interested to see what they're gonna bring, you know. I mean, I didn't play it a lot, but I know it looked like a fun game, and a lot of people enjoyed some of the games, and some people didn't like some of the endings.
Well, I know the creator guy. He always got into hot water because he kept claiming when those games were in development that you can do anything you want. Like you can plant a tree or plant a seed, and in a few years that seed will grow into a real tree, and that never happened because of the limitations of the software. My thing is, I didn't see any like no engine, no in-game engine, no gameplay. It was a cinematic trailer, which is all right, but I don't know. I'm on the fence because I'm just waiting to see what it actually is gonna be like, because Fable's all over the place. 1, 2, and 3, and then they have like a castle defense game. So yeah, I'm just gonna see what's gonna happen with the Fable label. Fable label.
Good one. You rhymed. And then there was this game that looked cool, and then the title came up, and I was like, oh, I didn't know. I thought, or Warhammer, that Warhammer game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the trailer looked really dope. Not gonna lie, I kind of was into it, but I don't know much about Warhammer. Right? Isn't that like one of those top-down games or something that like?
Kinda. Like it is, but they have other games where it's not. I think.
Mhm.
I could be wrong. I could be speaking out my ass, but I'm pretty sure they've made
Yeah.
other games that weren't
Like me.
top down.
But no,
Yeah.
no, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say it looks to me like it looks to me like it's a squad based cooperative survival
Mhm.
game, and I like those type of games.
Mhm.
You know, it reminded me of GTFO on Steam. If any of you guys know what that game is, but
Yeah.
oh wow, soda. Excuse me, but it is nice to see a cooperative online multiplayer that's not an MMO or an RPG.
Mhm.
I could be wrong because we didn't see any gameplay, or not. I don't really consider that first person angle like real gameplay, but I do like those dark shadows, limited light. Like it's a claustrophobic, scary type of
Yeah.
feel, and I'm
Yeah.
all for it. With three of
It's
your other
yeah.
buddies, I'm all for it.
Yeah, it seems pretty nice. How do you guys feel about the Obsidian like games that they're like Outer Worlds, the that other Skyrim looking game, and and then there's those kind of games. How do you guys feel about those games?
The Outer World one looked almost. It kind of reminded me of Borderlands. I don't know about you guys, but I've never played Outer Worlds before, and I know it's the second iteration, but it looks kind of like one of those games that it's like an arcade-ish game that you could just do whatever in. I don't know how much about it, so
Well, it's a DLC, right? It's just an expansion, so it's basically just what Outer Worlds is, but a different narrative. So I don't know. I mean, I didn't play Outer Worlds. But I want to though, because I'm a huge fan of Fallout New Vegas, and those are the same people that made Fallout New Vegas. So it looks like a fun game. And then there's a Avowed, right? That's the other. Obsidian
oh yeah,
game.
that was the one I liked the most out of all of them. The Avowed.
Mm-hmm.
It reminded me of something like Lord of the Rings and For Honor, but like it added that like the ability to use a sword and magic at the same time, which I thought was really cool. And
Yeah.
it's like a RPG, like kind of like you're exploring the world-ish game. I can't really tell based off of like without gameplay, but it really
only give us like a little hint of what it looks like.
Yeah, but it looked really cool.
Yeah. I liked the Obsidian piece. I I was laughing because when they first unveiled their the like RPG game where you're like a little kid and a giant backyard.
Yeah, Grounded.
Grounded. I was rolling
Yeah,
my
yeah,
eyes because I was like, "Oh, we've seen this before." But then the announcer guy was like, "If you're waiting for the world's biggest game, wait for Cyberpunk. But if you want a different game that's just fun, check this out." And I was laughing because they knew what they were and they were just poking fun. You know, that's what I liked about it.
Yeah.
So even though
Yeah.
I faced, I had nothing but criticism at first, they totally swung me around just by their wit. The Outer Worlds, I was disappointed because it's a DLC. I don't want to see DLC on a premiere, like on a giant game show.
On a world premiere.
Yeah, that should have been a pre-show
Yeah.
thing. The last, good Hello Neighbor 2 reveal should have been on the main floor instead of just a DLC announcement. And then, Avowed, I don't know, because again, I didn't see any gameplay, so I don't know what it's actually supposed to look like. Because
Yeah, a lot of what we saw was like trailers.
Yeah. I don't mind
Yeah.
trailers as long as I get like a frame of reference with the gameplay. But yeah, if I don't see it, I have no idea because like
Yeah. I mean, for me, I think Grounded was kind of. I mean, yeah, it kind of it was funny. I thought it would, like the way they presented itself was really funny, but the game looks kind of cool and like it's very. I mean, it's not that it's different. I mean, it's a team build game. You fend off the spiders and stuff, but I don't know. It just seems like a pretty chill game to play with your friends.
Yeah.
Kind of more or less seems innovative because you're a tiny dude fighting off insects, right? It reminds me of that movie, that Disney Channel movie. You know, like, oh, like, Honey, I Think I Shrink the Kids or
Yeah,
something like
that's what
that.
Yeah.
I wrote. I wrote
Yeah,
the game
yeah.
is pretty much Honey I Shrunk the Kids, but it's a survival
Yeah,
version
yeah.
of that game.
That's
Or
what
that movie.
that's what I was thinking when I saw the
Yeah.
game. So I was like, this is, I mean, you know, this seems like a pretty cool game just to try out and see how it is.
Mhm.
But you know, yeah. So, but that avowed thing, it kind of tickled my toes a little bit, teased me a bit with the little trailer. It reminded me a little bit of like Skyrim-esque and you know, Shadows of Mordor a little bit, but you know, yeah, I too would have wished a little bit more gameplay. It's like, you know, kind of just like teasing us of what it could look like, right? Or yeah,
Well,
other
like,
games that. Oh,
I was just gonna say like, I mean, to me, it reminded me of Skyrim 2, and
mhm.
people hadn't had a proper Skyrim game, and you know, people didn't have a proper Fallout game for a while, and so these guys made the Outer Worlds, and people who were original fans of Fallout loved it. So this is gonna be their shot at Skyrim to get people their niche. I think it's a smart move.
How do you guys feel? There's a lot of games we're gonna have to talk about, right?
All right. Well,
what other games?
I was
just
gonna
gonna
ask, what are the games that you guys? What are the games that you think you'd play the most, or which ones did you
Yeah.
like the most out of the ones that we saw?
I was gonna ask the same thing. I wanna play Everwild, that rare game. it I don't know what the game is about, what the gameplay is or the story or something, but it looks really good. Like the art style looks really beautiful, and
The art style
gotta-
reminded me of like a Legend of Zelda kind of game.
yeah, a little bit. I don't know. It just seems kind of like pleasing to watch and play, and so whenever I get the chance, whenever, you know, like all these games I want to play eventually, but I just got an Xbox One, so like I have to wait until like the Xbox X Series gets hella cheap. But that game I would like to play. You know, it seems like I just like how delicate it looks. It looks really. It just looks like a game you can like play when you're trying to get calm or something, or you just want to, and you're just like in a vibe. You know, I've been trying to play a lot more vibe type games. You know, just to like chill out and stuff. So that game seems like a fun game to play. And then State of Decay 3. When they introduced that, I didn't think it was going to be State of Decay 3. I thought it was going to be like a totally different like zombie game or like post-apocalyptic game, because of the last scene you see with when the deer dude was eating the wolf guy.
Yeah.
They're not actual people, they're just animals. But I was like, this, like when it started out with the woman screaming, I was like, man, this is kind of freaky. Like I wonder what this game is going to be about, you know. And I played the first one, and I've seen gameplay of the second one, and I love State of Decay. I mean, it's such a fun way to play a zombie game. It's very innovative, and it's funny because like it has permadeath, and so every time one of my friends die in the game, I just quit the game and start all over because I want everyone to live. I mean, that's how I am. So like legit, I'll dedicate so much game time, and then if like I'm like 15 hours into the game and someone dies, I'm like, well, I'm done. And then I'll wait years till I pick it up again. But yeah, I'm excited for
Seems
that.
like a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun game, and it's worth the game and the time. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Besides like Halo Infinite. Oh, and Psychonauts 2. I want to see what that looks like, because it's very psychedelic and it's kind of like wild. But yeah, those are the games I can't wait to play and to see other people play. Because, you know, I'm a couch gamer. I like to watch people play games. So yeah, those are the games I'm kind of more interested in. But that, and then one thing is the As Dusk Falls, that interactive drama game. I forgot what they really called it, but that looks it looks interesting. It's different than most games that I've seen and played. So I wonder what that would turn out to be. That looks kind of interesting to watch people play.
What about
'Cause, you know-
Scuba Steve? Or I mean, not Scuba Steve. So
Oh!
Alec.
So I'm
Do you
interested in Psychonaut.
Not really. There wasn't a single game in there that I was like, that I'm excited to play. Because the only one that I was like super impressed with was the Warhammer one, because I hope it's a gritty, cooperative horror game. But the other one was like Scuba Steve was saying, Psychonauts. That game looks like a DreamWorks movie you can play, and I love that because like most other like cartoon stylish games, they look like they're out of Project Spark or something. Like they look like a Kickstarter plastic. They always look the same, but for Psychonauts, it looked like it has a style, which I enjoyed very much.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The other ones I just either had no information or I didn't like the style they went with. I mean, you had what's it called? You had that one brother and sister detective story, but that game looks that game looks like it could run at the 360, you know? And the voice, I mean, some of the voice acting, I was like, I mean, I'm not an actor, but at the same time, it's an actor's job to make us not know that they're an actor, you know? So, yeah, and the Ori Will of the Wisp, I hated how they were bragging about their graphic fidelity for a game like Ori and the Will of the Wisp. But yeah, I don't know. There wasn't anything that I saw that stuck out to me. Oh, the fucking... Why the fuck is Tetris Effect listed as...
Oh, Tetris! Oh, I forgot about Tetris!
The thing is,
that game... favorite game! Why are you dissing on favorite game?
Well, the game has been announced since forever, and it was shown. It premiered on a PlayStation, on a VR PlayStation set. So I'm confused on what the hell happened to make it an exclusive for Xbox. And what do you mean refined single player and multi? Like it's Tetris.
Yeah, I don't know how you can
glitter?
refine
Is
that.
that
Yeah.
what you refined? Good job.
I mean, did you see that you can now play with like multiple people in the same like place, same panels, you know? I mean, that's kind of cool, I guess, but I don't know. I'm just excited for a new Tetris game, low key. I mean, Tetris is fun. That's it. That's all I gotta say. It's just fun.
Yeah, I thought that's a pre-show, post-show type thing, not a main, at least in my opinion.
One thing for me too about that trailer was like when it showed the people, you know, holding the Xbox controller and playing it, I was like, man, this is scripted as fuck. And then right, because they're not looking like they're actually playing the game. But then I just kept watching and I was like, wait, what is this? Is this gonna be another Kinect thing or something like that? And then it was like, oh, it's gonna be. And then I saw the blocks falling down and I was like, oh baby.
I honestly thought Scuba Steve, because our expectation show that we did, the podcast that we did, we talked about more family games, and I thought they were going to introduce a brand new family friendly game that you can play with the family, because you know,
family game, like, you know.
Yeah, and then I saw the blocks falling. I was like, wait, what the fuck?
Alright, well, I guess it's my turn to go over the games that I think I liked.
I mean, you could just go.
I would just go down my list, and because I put them in the order that they came out.
Same.
Or that they appeared in this show. The first one that really like stuck out to me was Avowed again. I really liked all the Lord of the Rings games, and For Honor looked really cool. I never got a chance to play it, but I've seen my brother play it a couple times. It looks really cool. And I like that or at least based off of the trailer, that you have two different elements to that story, and that it's kind of like it has a story mode and it has like something you can go through and play for fun, and it looks really good. The next one was Psychonauts 2, like how you guys were saying. I really like how they got Black Jack or Jack Black, sorry, my bad.
Jack.
I just wrote it backwards. I really like how they got Jack Black to be the voice actor for the game. It really suited the game. It was really funny.
Well, he did the music,
I like
right?
the scheme. Yeah. I think he was also part of voice acting. I'm not 100%, but I think he was part of voice acting, because I think they put it somewhere in the trailer that he did, but I'm not 100%. But yeah, it looks like it's a platformer, but it had like a different mechanic to where like you can freeze platforms, like keep them from moving, and you can the color scheme was really cool, and it was like something like not like a family game, but it's something like kids could play, and it was really fun. It looked really fun. And then the Medium, I don't know about you guys, but the Medium to me looked like a really cool thriller. It was really different because a lot of the thrillers are like you only go through one world. You only ever see one color scheme, which is dark and scary and stuff like that. But the Medium, you're going through two different worlds at the same time, and it's a thriller game at the same time. And it looked really cool. Like the way that they went about it, I thought was really cool. And then finally, the last one I wrote down was the Phantasy Star Online. I used to play Monster Hunter, but I never got to play like with friends. And Monster Hunter with friends looks really cool. That's what it looked like to me, at least. It's like a Monster Hunter game, and you can play with friends.
Right. Yeah, that one I was like, what the? But no, yeah, the medium looked kind of cool. I mean, the aspect where you're playing in two different worlds at the same time is kind of. I mean, for a thriller too, it's very different in that sense, and it's kind of like I wonder how they're gonna make that work in that kind of game, or how the gameplay is gonna be. Is it gonna be like clunky and weird and complicated, or is it just gonna be like, or how well is gonna flow, So like it just seems interesting to me, and then like when I know how I feel until I see it, but just like that thought of seeing that game was pretty dope, Yeah. I mean, yeah, and then there was like some of the indie games and other games that a lot of the indie games too, like they look pleasing, just like the art styles and all the quick bits that they did, that little montage thing, like I want to start playing more indie games, mainly because like just the art style is always different, and it's just like that's kind of the big things about those kind of games. And it's always, I mean, they always try to be a little bit different compared to like AAA games. So it's kind of seeing all the different indie games and stuff, and how Microsoft bought like a bajillion studios and stuff, and now indie games is like a huge part of it again. Because I remember Xbox 360 when you had that little tab for just specifically for your indie games, but they were like kind of doo-doo, And so, or they're not all doo-doo. It's just, it's just they're meme. They were just memes, when you play them. So it would be kind of cool to see what some of the indie stuff they're gonna drop. Yeah. So I mean, some of these games kind of like I know for a fact I don't see myself playing, but it's kind of interesting to see that just like some of them just looks kind of cool, just to watch. I want to see myself playing, but I'll definitely like if it's like a let's play or someone's playing it, I'll definitely take a look. Yeah.
Yeah. The one game that I won't lie, it looked fun, was the Crossfire X. But I'm not gonna lie, their campaign trailer looked cliched as hell.
Oh yeah.
It looked exactly like something a Call of Duty would make, but I don't know. it doesn't look like super drawn out story. Like they didn't have enough story elements to tell you like what the story was about. It just had all the action, it like images, I guess, or not images, but like all the action scenes.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, it looks fun. Like, if it didn't look fun, I'd hate it. But despite the fact that it looks like a generic Hollywood storyline, you gotta save the world or something like that. It does look fun to me. Like, it looks like it could be a hell of a blast. I don't know if because I know the multiplayer. I think they're releasing those two separate. I don't know if Crossfire X multiplayer is free and the campaign is not, or if it's one whole game. But they had a little notice at the bottom. I don't remember what it said though.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I did want to play that Stalker 2 game, that Chernobyl looking. It just looked interesting to me. But I hope it's not like one of those like the forest Rust type survival on your own by crafting, cutting down trees by yourself. Because then those games get boring. You play by yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah.
I think my like sleeper game is gonna be Hellblade 2.
Oh man.
The one about like Celtic warriors. It looked really cool. It didn't have like, since it's a second story. I didn't get to see the first one, but like. They didn't talk about much of the story, but it looked really cool.
Yeah, the first game is pretty dope. I mean, I didn't finish it, but you know, it starts out pretty slow, but it's pretty nice. I mean, the story and the themes and kind of and the gameplay and just everything about the game, it's pretty solid. So, I mean, I'm kind of excited for the second one and what they're gonna do. I mean, I was surprised. I didn't think they were gonna make a second one, but you know, so. But speaking of the second one, let's talk about Halo Infinite. Even though it's not the second game, but kind of just end this podcast because you know me and the Sodaholic love Halo, right? And we talked about it a lot during our pre-show.
Are you assuming that I don't like Halo?
Well, I mean,
yes.
Yeah, I am. we play more Halo than you, but anyways.
I mean, that's facts, but that doesn't mean I don't like Halo.
Oh, fair point.
I guess. But yeah, and so I guess my question is, what's kind of your first? What was your first impression of the whole thing, from the cinematic trailer to the gameplay?
I'll let Sodaholic go first because he's more of a diehard fan. Go for it.
Right.
I did like the cinematic trailer. I wasn't sure if it was like, when it first started off, I was like, I'm not sure if this is like a trailer for the actual Xbox console or for Halo.
Yeah, same.
Until I started hearing like familiar Halo sounds, and I was like, oh, okay. And then she was like, Molnar.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
That's when I was like, yeah, this is Halo.
I did like the cinematic trailer. I liked how they're emphasizing how the suit of armor is just a suit of armor without you, really playing to the players. The actual gameplay itself, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like it.
Dang.
At all. I didn't like anything I saw.
What did you not like the most?
Like, the fact that it was an open world, it seems more of an open world. I don't really care, because I mean, you're on a Halo ring, so at least you can have the free range to explore it. But everything that I saw before that they were hinting at in the teaser trailers was not present. Like, immediate downgrade from the pilot trailer and the initial trailer showing like how beautiful the world would look. Like, it's a very stark difference once that trailer started. And then the moment Master Chief pulled out his assault rifle, everything looked like plastic. Everything looked downgraded. That was the one thing I was surprised that they did. Like, everything looked like... I was reading the comments and people were like, oh man, it looks just like CE. And I was like, you don't have a problem with that? You don't have a problem with the game looking like a 2001 game? Like, everything looks plastic to me. And the assault rifle looks like Halo Reach for some reason. And like even when he started firing, like the gun didn't move at all. It's super floaty. It to me, it looked like a wannabe Doom game. You got your hook, and you got enemies that like are just solid colors, and it highly disappointed me. Even the animations were either recycled or like janky. You saw that dropship come by and he like takes turns randomly instead of it gliding through the air like a flying ship would do. And then when the Brutes came out of their pods, they started charging at. Well, first they roared into the air with no guns in their hands, and then they just ran at you with no guns in their hands. Everything was just disappointing to me. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even know if I want to get the game. The last thing I thought they were gonna do. I'm fine with them getting rid of the Spartan abilities. I'm fine with them getting rid of sprint. The last thing I thought they were gonna do was like degrade what it's supposed to look like. Halo 2 Anniversary looks 10 times better than this. And that's what I liked, is that it had that Halo feel, but it also still looked like a real game. This looks like an arcade game. This looks like a game you get on the indie store, like a knockoff Halo game.
Yeah.
And when his shields were recharging, you only got like octagons on the side instead of the whole like everything just looks stripped down. And to me, it's a huge step backwards. They're just they try to make it look like Halo, but also making it look nothing like it. And that's just my 2 cents about it. I was highly disappointed.
Well, I guess that leaves it to me. I don't disagree with you. The graphics looked really squared. Like, even you could even see it in like the not nature. What is whatever. You could see it in like the land. Like the land looks kind of square.
Like the cliff sides and stuff.
Yeah. And there's not a lot of places where it's gonna be squared landscape. So that's one thing I didn't really like. I do like your point where you say that it doesn't look like a newer game, because it really didn't. But one of the things that I did like, the first thing that came to my mind was, wow, they finally buffed the assault rifle. It actually kills something, because for me at least, whenever I played Halo, you're in most of the main modes, you start with the assault rifle, and it's really bad. I hate the assault rifle. But in that game, it looked like you just killed it. You can kill people in half a mag instead of like 2 whole mags. But one of the things I really liked was the addition of the grapple hook, because Halo kind of feels slow, and since it is a big map, the grapple hook really helps you move through the map, especially because like your jump mechanic, you stay in the air like super long, so that grapple hook could keep you grounded. Can keep you grounded easier, so you can move faster through the game instead of like having to wait to fall all the way down, and then like the not being able to run most of the time. But yeah, that's one of the things I did like, was the addition of the grapple hook. It really flows. I think it really flowed with the game, and it helped to at least speed up the game a little bit, because that's one of the things I didn't like about Halo, the traditional Halos, was that it was pretty slow and it takes a long time to get through the game. But I do, to your point, the graphics looked old. They didn't look new, and it didn't feel like a new game. What about you, Scuba Steve?
I mean, for me, I don't really care about the graphics, low-key. Right? I mean, when they were promoting Swiss Space and all that kind of stuff, I was like, okay, whatever. I just want story, and I just want gameplay. Right? That's all I want from a Halo game. Because, if I want a beautiful game, I'll just play, like, freaking God of War or other indie games that emphasize a lot more on the on just like how it looks. But for me, the graphics, I was like, I mean, whatever, man. I mean, the chief looks dope, and some of the stuff kind of looks kind of Destiny 2x, kind of bulky and stuff. And they did my boy shotgun dirty, bro. You see the shotgun? Like, oh man, I hope that's a different shotgun. I hope they stick to like just how shotgun always was.
I also. Side note, real quick. I also liked the addition of the hit markers. The hit markers look so clean. I don't know why. They just look satisfying to look at. Anyways, keep going.
For me, no, yeah, I was reading the comics. A lot of people were just like, it's mixed reviews. I mean, people were just like, oh, it's just downgrade, all plastic, all fucking guns, Destiny. They're just comparing it to different games. Other people were like, oh, I mean, it's open world. They're kind of going back with the elites and the brutes, and and kind of like making it main covenant, but they're not really covenant. They're the banished, so it's different. But for me, at least, it's like I like the introduction of the hook, the grappling hook. I think that's kind of cool. I didn't mind sprint because of how the game is now almost not entirely open world, but there's a vast majority of space where you can like just explore, and I think that's kind of interesting, and I was hopeful for that because you're playing in a world of Halo, you're in a Halo ring, so you kind of want to see, for one, how the Xbox can expand that that space into like what it looks like. That doesn't make sense, but right? And so I as much as I don't like sprint as much, I think it will be helpful when you're exploring spaces in this. And I mean, I don't mind the open world thing. I think it's kind of nice that they are doing that. And I don't know. And then it's kind of for me what kind of made me laugh the most is when the chief goes up the elevator, and then fucking when the guy shooting the jackal, he didn't get a headshot, man. What the hell? It's prime. You have the pistol, you have ammo, you could easily get a hit. Oh man, I was like, God. But I mean, that doesn't really determine how I feel about the game. Right, it doesn't really. But what really got me was when the grunt was jumping, when he jumped and was flying, and had the 2 grenades, the suicide grunt. Oh right, yeah, I was like, man, if they do that more in this game, it's gonna be great. That'd be kind of dope. I mean, yeah, like. And so, but yeah, the grabbing the hook reminded me a little bit of Doom, low key, but I'm totally fine with it. I think it'd be kind of an interesting way to, because it's not like an armor ability. It's kind of like you pick it up as you play the game, and a lot of the stuff you pick up, and so I think that'd be kind of cool. And it kind of, even though it's not like, not a lot of the stuff that's showcased in the game wasn't that innovating, right? I mean, a lot of the stuff you can like be like, oh, this is from this game, oh, it's from that game, oh, it is, and stuff like that. I mean, like, yeah, you can make that point, but I don't mind it, right? I mean, it's kind of different for a Halo game itself, but as long as it plays well in the game, I don't really care. As long as I'm having fun with Halo, I'm chilling, right? Because I mean, yeah. And then, yeah, I mean, for one, this is a demo, so it's not really a finished product. And so I'm pretty sure a lot of the people are going to, 343 is going to see all this criticism, and they're going to be like, okay, this is what we got this much time left to release the game. Let's fix this real quick, right? Because I was reading the article. I was reading this article, and I think it was on the Halo, one of the Halo website. I forgot the website, but what caught me was just the content of the article, and it was like the guy that was in charge of making the game, the director or something, forgot his name, but he was like, he was like, oh, thanks guys for watching, I hope you guys are excited as much as we are and stuff. And then he was just talking about, well, this game we're dropping, we're gonna continue building this game with the community, right? We're gonna listen to you more, right? Whatever you think is not good, we'll try to fix it, right? I mean, I think that's kind of cool, having that mentality where it's like they're gonna give us the game what they have now, and as they continue to update it and refine it, they're gonna listen to hopefully they're gonna listen to their fans, right? I mean, Halo 5 was a flop, and so they're like, okay, let's fix this, and for Halo Infinite, and they didn't fix a lot of things, but or at least what I've seen, I just want a really good story, right? And so
Yeah.
when the chief and the interaction with the chief and the pilot, and I hope we get to know his name in the game because I don't want to call him the pilot, but I love that. I love that scene, right? Because it was just
Yeah, I love the pilot's character.
yeah.
Is really good.
For me,
Like addition for like another person in the character, like a civilian other than like all the people that are part of Halo fighting against these
Yeah.
the monsters that through Halo.
for me at least, it's like, coming off from Halo 4 and the story like between Cortana and Master Chief, and kind of discovering whether or not Chief is a human, or if his humanity versus being a machine. I wonder if they're going to continue that in Halo Infinite, because they didn't really talk about it a lot in Halo 5. It was just kind of out all over the world. So when the last line, he was like, we're going to do this together, I was like, bro, I hope they, oh shit, shoot, I'm in. I hope they like put a lot of emphasis between like character development and dialogue, and these cutscenes, because that's for me, that's the make it take it, because I really enjoyed Halo 4 story. The more I play it, the more I'm like realizing that like it's like the themes, like it's really important, and I think it's dope. And Halo 2, and the way the dialogue between, I can go on for days, but I just, for me at least, like, the gameplay looks, it's not that innovative. It's not like, they're pushing but I mean, it just seems like it, just enough for me to play it and, just explore and how I feel about it, I mean, and then, but for me, the story and the graphics, I'm like, I mean, it looks plasticky, I guess, but, at least, hopefully they'll try to update it as they go on. But for me, I'm just hope for the story, because like it ended with that whole like scene with the with the banished leader brute, right? And I mean, for me, I was like, this is weird. I mean, no, like it started pretty dope. I was like, oh, this is interesting. Now we get to see more of like some of the main antagonists, right? Which is the banished, right? And but but then it like, and then you get the full front of the face and this whole like, freaking spleel dialogue, and I'm like, okay, I get it, man. Like, I just want more gameplay, and then
it is weird how they swapped the main antagonist, or at least from the setup from Halo 5.
Mm-hmm.
I did find that very interesting, how it went from Cortana and the Guardians and the AI race to getting fully wrecked by the Banished. When they did the time jump and they're like, we lost, and then Chief was like, we gotta run from the Banished. I'm like, I was
See,
wrong.
I
thought we were going against Cortana here.
You see, I was reading. Yeah, no, same. I thought the same too. But then they did that teaser trailer with the Banished, so I was like, I wonder how they're gonna introduce that into the game. And then I was, the same article I was reading, they were like, oh, the demo you saw was like several hours into the game, so it wasn't like yeah. And so I think that's cool, because then now it's like, well, what happened before that, right? Because like you're with the pilot, right? And so if this is several hours into the game, what the hell are you doing several hours before, right?
What my prediction for the story is, my idea is that the Arbiter and the elites and the humans were fighting Cortana, and there's a big war, which left them all defenseless. So the Banished came in and wiped them all out together. That's what I'm assuming happened, because I don't know how. I wish they had Atriox in this though. I wish he was. I mean, I could be wrong. He could be more in the present in the game, because this was just a demo. But it did make it look like that guy that was speaking at the end. They did make it look like he was the main.
The main. Yeah. But I don't know. I did enjoy that. I did like how they brought back, the brutes and the elites working together with the grunts and stuff. I wonder if they're gonna, because I wonder how they're gonna introduce the Flood too, because I think that's canon, right? From the DLC from Halo Wars 2, spoilers alert. Because but I wonder how they're gonna introduce that, and then balance it with the Forerunners and with Cortana. So it's kind of like, yeah, I'm just more invested in the story for me, and like, yeah, and that beginning dialogue, I think it was pretty cool. And if they do more of that, then I'll be pretty excited for the game. And some of the gun designs are kind of clunky. It's whatever. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're gonna, try to fix that. I'm not too worried about it now until I play it. Because again, it's a demo, and so what we're saying now, a lot of people and tons of other people are saying too, right? People like it, people don't like it, and so whatever Bungie hears, they're gonna listen to and kind of hopefully they'll fix it, because this game is important for not only the players but for Xbox. All right, so
Yeah. The one thing I will say is, even though personally I was disappointed, as long as it's a good story, I'm holding out, because a lot of people hated my favorite Halo game, Halo 4. They said it didn't look like Halo. They said the perk system was not a Halo thing, and this is the exact same thing I'm saying about Halo Infinite, is that it doesn't look like Halo, and I don't like how it's taking mechanics from other games. And who knows? Maybe the thing. Maybe I could be very wrong, and the game turns out to be my new favorite Halo game.
Yeah.
As long as the story is good, that's all I care about.
Yeah.
I think my final note is, I think to this point, the dialogue at least feels a lot more fresh and a lot more flowing with the what's going on around the game, because a problem with a lot of the newer Halos, at least, is that they don't flesh out the story as well. But this one seems to be more focused on at least more dialogue and setting up what's going on around the world. But again, to the point where the new mechanics of the grappler, I think it really works for a Halo, because of all the terrain just works really well for something that a grappler could introduce to the game. But again, final note, all these games can be changed. It's really early still. So
oh, son of a bitch, they didn't even announce the price. It's coming out in December, and I still don't know the price.
There's not, and it's funny because none of these games announce a definitive release date. It was just oh, this is when it's coming out, but it's not a specific time.
Yeah.
So yeah, but another thing.
To be fair,
things can change.
Another thing, I think they're also gonna they're gonna showcase some multiplayer later in the month. So I think that later, not this month, but later to come. So that would be kind of interesting, because multiplayer is kind of important too with Halo. Yeah. So, but yeah, any final thoughts about the whole thing, about games, about Halo?
I'm just waiting for more to Soda's point earlier in the video. I'm just waiting for more of gameplay, because a lot of these were trailers and didn't showcase much of gameplay. They just showcased what the game looks like and kind of a 2-sentence what the story is, which is not much. So I'm really looking forward to gameplay, and I hope that later on we can get to see that before the games are released.
Well, yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, we got some good points, or we got the highs, we got the lows. I mean, at the end, at the end of the day, I'm still going back to the Wii Sports Resort. No. Just kidding. I don't have my Wii on me. It sucks, but sometimes I like to listen to the Wii theme song. The Wii Shop theme song when I'm just chilling in my bed. It's a vibe. Anyways, we're not talking about Nintendo. But yeah, these are just our opinions. I mean, whether you like it or not, it is what it is. But please leave a comment down below and just how you feel about the Xbox and all these Xbox.
What was your favorite game they revealed? I guess I don't know.
Oh.
Pre-show, post-show, real show.
But I hope you guys enjoyed watching and the show and enjoyed listening to us. And I hope you guys keep gaming and keep having a good life. And thanks.
And we out.
And thanks for listening.